Are you wondering how you can score significantly more goals? In this tutorial, I will answer that question with the most detailed breakdown of the most efficient shot in eFootball 2024, the knock-on shot. Before we start, make sure to hit the subscribe button that you don't miss any other upcoming eFootball content. This variant is so promising in his goal probability that it is almost ridiculous and a cheat if you're able to master it. I will go step by step through this video and explain all the necessary requirements for the players in game, as well as the requirements for you behind the controller to master this shot. But what is this shot and why is it so effective? I will show you now. First of all, there are two types how you can execute it. One is stationary, while you are standing still, and the other one is while receiving the ball instantly as the first time shot. And you could already see how effective this shot is. It was far from distance. The match level is on superstar, so the goalkeeper is playing on a high level. This is a fully free-to-play team, and most of the players you should also have in your squad, that not the people are starting to talk like, this guy is using Epic Romario, this guy is using Booster Shevchenko. No, you can do it also with these players and with low-rated players. I've promised you in my previous video that I will answer some question in the next video. Here you go. I will start with Soccer Basim. Currently, I'm doing a YouTube series where I am using a free-to-play team to see how high I can come. I can imagine that when I have the time to grind that I can go for the top rankings, but we will see, we'll find out. Make sure to watch my YouTube series. We have some specific abilities which are important, which have an impact for the knock-on shot. These are, first, the finishing. Finishing is always important to score goals. This is clear, this is obvious. The second one is the curl ability. With Neymar, we have a player who's got 86, which is relatively high, and you could already see when I was performing the knock-on shot that this is a high-strength curled finesse shot. The next one is kicking power. The higher your kicking power is, the stronger your player is able to perform that shot. These three abilities are important for the stationary version as well as for the version where we are using the knock-on at first-time shot. For the second version, where we are doing the first time, additionally, we need a player with good ball control. Ball control is responsible for controlling the ball in general, as well as for feints and traps. But now we're coming to the most important requirement, which is the player skill, soul control. Soul control enables step-on ball control to execute feints and turns. And this is what we need here. Beside the soul control skill, another skill is really important for both of the versions, stationary as well as the first time version, how I call it. It's not first time, but for me it's different than the stationary one. It's the long range curler. Enables players to hit a curling controlled shot with high accuracy. This will make the knock-on shots even more dangerous. The next question is from Abbott, how to overcome the opponent's pressure when he is covering lots of spaces in the midfield. That's a good question. There are two options. One is the easier one. It's with lofted passes, with crosses, when you are trying to reach your offense with your defense, let's say with your center backs to your wingers or to your forwards. This is something which you can do in that kind of situation and which you should do. The second option is a little difficult, a little tricky, because you need to be able to perform skills. You need to be safe to go in one-on-one situations, especially when you have midfielders like Kante, Nedved, etc. Players who are able to go in a one-on-one situation and then overcome one player and create spaces with that dribblings. When you're now trying this shot with a player without soul control, like Heung-min Son, you can see that he needs way more time and his radius is becoming way wider than with a player with that soul control skill. Like Neymarcito here, for example. Look at this. You see that? Just one little step. And when we go for Heung-min Son, do you see how much time it takes that he's executing that? I show you in this situation here. Look at this. Way slower and way further. Here, Neymarcito, tack, just a little step and he's in full control. Now Heung-min Son, very slow. He's moving his whole body instead of just using his foot like Neymar. Where is he? Here. Tack, tack. I will make a side-to-side comparison here with Neymar. And same with Heung-min Son. Both can work, especially in the training mode where we have time and space. But if we are going into the division mode, it's completely different. Every millisecond counts, especially the higher you go in the ranking, the less time you will have. Players with a good ball control, but way more important, players with the soul control skills will provide you to perform the skill, the knock-on shot, in no time. The next question is from Iverson. He wants to know the difference between rising shot and dipping shot. Konami has got a power gauge input table where you can look it up. I will link it here below. For the dipping shot, you need to load up the power bar, the shooting bar, about 20 to 50%. For the knuckle shot, you need to load it up about 50 to 65%. And for the rising shot, 65 to 90%. The next point on which you need to take care of is the pass. It should be accurate, it should be not too hard, not too weak. It should have a balanced strength. If you play a pass too weak, like this, it needs too much time that the player is taking the ball, receiving the ball. And that means many players from the opponent will surround your player and you won't have space. And you need space for that. And if you play the pass too hard, like this, he is not able to control the ball and the ball will bounce away from his feet, especially without the soul control skill. But even with that, it's becoming hard for the player. So you need to make a good preparation. You need to make a good environment for the knock-on shot. First of all, how to execute the knock-on skill. For me on the PlayStation, I've changed the controller settings. It's with R2, the special control button. Here, you can see it on the screen on my gamepad. You need to hold it. Hold the R2. While you are holding it, you will move the right analog stick to the side where you are looking to. In my case, to the right side. So hold the R2 and press the right analog stick. Just tap it to the right side, like this. And he will perform it. You can even spam it if you tap all the time the right analog stick while you are holding the R2 button. You can also go diagonal like this to the bottom side, or you can go to the top side like this with his other foot, with his left foot or with his right foot. He can do both, no matter which player. And you could also see two different types. One is with his sole, like here, and the other one is with his outside of his foot. Even that you are able to make the knock-on with the outside of your foot, you are not able to make outside curler shots. He will always use his foot, which is positioned stronger in that angle. Let's say we are at the bottom, so from the bottom he will always use his left foot. If you're at the top, he will always use his right foot. He would need to use the outside curler, and this is not possible with the knock-on shot. I've showed you how to do the knock-on, but what about the shot itself? So here's the knock-on, then the shot into the long corner. After giving the pass, after doing the knock-on, you are instantly shooting into the long corner. Okay, you can also do it into the short corner when the opponent is activating the manual goalkeeping, but in this case I'm showing you like it is here. So knock on, hold the R2 button while you're shooting into the long corner, into the right bottom corner. Depending on the distance, when you're in a long distance, you go for 80-90%. When you're in a short distance, 10 to 30% is already enough. Hold the R2, shoot into the long corner in one move. That's really important. If you wait too long, it's over and he won't perform it anymore. Basically, the knock-on shot is a finesse shot, just with more power. I would categorize the knock-on shot between the curl shot, the normal finesse shot, and the blitz curler. So the blitz curler is a little more effective. If you combine them two shots, then it's going really crazy. With the knock-on shot, you're able to score from angles which you are not able to score with the normal curl shot. Same goes for the distance. You're able to score with the knock-on shot from further distance than with the normal curl shot, with the normal finesse shot. You can perform this knock-on shot inside the box. The opponent will suffer from it, and you can use this knock-on like 30 meters in distance or 35 meters, and the opponent will also have a hard time. That makes this shot so special. Its utility is so versatile, insane. What happens if we are shooting too late? I show you now. So we are doing the knock-on and then we wait. He's basically making a normal shot. Okay, it's a normal straight shot without a curl. I show you now a normal finesse shot, and then from the same situation, from the same position, with the knock-on shot. This is the normal curl shot, and the bar was loaded up for like 80-90%. Now let's go for the knock-on. And it's a goal. This is what I'm talking about. The difference is huge. Without knock-on, with knock-on. Huge difference, huge difference. Whether we are going for close range, mid-range or long range, the knock-on shot is always more impactful and more efficient, more effective, which increases the probability of scoring a goal a lot. Another point on which we need to take care of is the angle of the ball holder. So the angle between us with Neymar, with the ball holder, and the opponent's goal. When you are in 90 degrees, you are in a good angle. But if we now change the angle, let's say we are going like here and do the knock-on from the back, from the turn, it's not becoming efficient anymore. Another question from Bienda Kaliramna: how to outclass the 4-2-1-3 system? You can do that when you go also for 4-2-1-3 system, but with 2 DMFs instead of 1 DMF, 1 CMF. You can go for a 4-4-2 diamond system, DMF, 2 CMFs, 1 AMF to outnumber him in the center. But you can also go for a more wider option, let's say for a flat 4-3-3 with 1 DMF, 2 CMFs and 2 wingers to have more power on the wings. In my opinion, this shot is a real weapon because on one hand, it's really not that hard to master like double touches or something, that skills. And on the other hand, it's super efficient, super effective to score goals. You can increase the probability of scoring goals a lot. It wouldn't surprise me when Konami would nerf this function in the soon future, so make sure to master and to handle this shot as soon as possible to score as many goals as possible. If you want me to answer more of your questions, hit the comments, guys, smash them and let me know. I will answer them in the next videos. That's my knock-on shot tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. I will leave you with a nice and smooth Bam! Junge!